And we're live. Welcome to Boxes of Comics. I am your host, Chase Higgins, and I am here with stannnibals Prime. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. So, tonight we are continuing reading Marvel, absolutely everything you need to know. And stannnibals has his version. I think he has an updated version. So, it's that. And we have my brother Colin. Woohoo!
Hey, he's supporting you. That's good.
That's right. And here's my friend Ian. Ian,
Hello?
this is
What up?
stannnibals.
Nice
Hi,
to meet you.
Pleasure.
So,
You said his villain, so I got the most wanted on tonight. You know, Marvel villains most wanted. I'm ready.
that is good. So, tonight we cover Venom, Dr. Octopus, and Dormammu. And if we have time, we can go over the Barons of Bad.
Isn't some of their names like the Barons of Bad?
Yeah. A bit cheesy.
That's all good.
Okay. So, first up, here is the book.
Jeez, my favorite YouTube channel is live.
Yes, I realize your favorite YouTube channel is live. It's
I
me.
know. I can't believe he's live. He has 2 guest stars.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's Venom. And with this information, it says the Venom symbiote busts Eddie Brock out of jail and leaves behind an offspring. This bonds with Brock's cellmate, Violent Cletus Cassidy, who becomes the rampaging villain Carnage. And that was seen not only in the comics but also in the 90s animated show. They did a whole episode of that. And then it says, question, what is a symbiote? Answer, it's one of a species of alien parasites called the Clintar. A symbiote sets out to be good, but if it bonds with a less than perfect host, it can become vicious and violent. So that's interesting. So they're not all evil. It just depends on who they work with and who they match with.
See, I didn't know that. That explains why when he bonded with Cletus, he became Carnage, because Cletus is a pretty bad guy. So that's cool information. I did not know that.
Yeah. And then it says, in an alternate universe, there is a pig version of Venom named Pork Grind. He faces off against Peter Porker, the spectacular Spider Ham. So maybe that'll be in Into the Spider-Verse too.
That's another piece of information I didn't know.
It's pretty funny.
It is.
It's like a giant ham coming after you.
Hey, that's what we're having. Me and my wife are having for Thanksgiving is ham. So if it's got a symbiote on it, man, I'm leaving. I ain't gonna try and cook it.
You never know. Turkey might have a symbiote on it too.
It could.
The green gobbler.
Oh, the literally gobbler.
We have Kid Collector. Hello, Kid Collector. All right. Some more is, how does Spider-Man get rid of the symbiote? The answer, with the help of Reed Richards, Spider-Man discovers that the symbiote can't stand loud noises such as the clanging of church bells. And that was in Spider-Man 3, where Tobey Maguire has the black suit on, and after he does his little funky dance that everybody loves and discovers that it's not too good for him, he goes to the church and gets rid of it. But then Eddie Brock is there also, and he's like, hey, I need a way to kill Peter Parker. And it just so happens that that's when he gets the Venom symbiote, but he doesn't start to dance around like Peter Parker. Which I think that's the best part out of the entire movie. But as bad as that movie was, that was a good scene.
Oh, come on. I missed some of those cornball Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's definitely the best interpretation, I think. I wasn't a fan of Andrew Garfield, and I feel like Tom Holland's too much of an Iron Lad, not much of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. I think Tobey Maguire definitely had that honor. I don't know. Overall, those 3 generations of the Spider-Man for sure.
Yeah.
That portrays the most of the, I don't know, growth or progress of the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And for sure saved tons of money for Sony. After Sony got that right, they finally pulled it out with the Spider-Man revenue, and now they are spending. I don't know. I appreciate it, to be honest, on Venom and potentially Venom or Venom 2, with the production going on. Of course, COVID kind of stops it down, but for sure that was a good layout.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because they're going straight into Carnage for that. They're not even waiting until like number 3 or number 4. They're like, okay, the first one did amazing, so let's just throw in Carnage and see how that goes.
Hey, you got to strike when the poker's hot, man. You got to,
Yeah. So
go big.
And honestly, I hate to say it, after 2020, if they get the COVID thing taken care of, I think like you could have any movie come out, like people smelling feet or something. They're all going to go, running to the theaters. It's like,
exactly. So if you're going to buy a Disney, buy now.
Yeah.
A little bit more of information. It says S.H.I.E.L.D. declassified. Agent Venom. War hero Corporal Eugene Flash Thompson loses his legs fighting in Iraq, and the government selects him to be Agent Venom, a super agent harnessing the power of a subdued Venom symbiote. He is outfitted with a kill switch in case he loses all control. It's got a picture. Right, where is it? Right there. Over there. There we go. A little tricky.
Oh, I hear you. Every time I try to show something, I go the wrong way. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. But that's pretty cool. And I think Agent Venom, he was in the cartoon show on Disney. Disney, not Disney Plus. Oh, it's on Disney Plus. Disney something, and it's called Ultimate Spider-Man. Yep. And so they did that. They did that instead of having Eddie Brock. They just had Agent Venom, I think.
I was gonna say, didn't they even have a show called Agent Venom for a little bit?
Yeah, or like Agents of something. Maybe a spinoff. Okay, so then it goes into other scary symbiotes. You have Venom. The Venom symbiote bonds with Eddie Brock to create one of Spider-Man's most deadliest foes. Then it says Carnage. Criminal Cletus Cassidy is in the symbiote's host in this crazy and very deadly partnership. Then it says Toxin. Ex-cop Pat Mulligan succeeds Eddie Brock as Toxin and becomes an ally of the Avengers. And then last but not least, you have Anti-Venom. The mindless creature forms from the remnants of the Venom symbiote in Eddie Brock's blood. So I know in the comics there's like 6 or 7 symbiotes, and then they teased other symbiotes too. In the Venom movie, you had, I think Phage was the silver one, which turned out to be the bad guy. But then you also saw the yellow one, and you saw the blue one too. So I wonder if they're also going to incorporate them into the Venom sequel, and maybe they team up with Venom to take down Carnage. Or maybe Venom has to take them all on. Who knows? But let's see. They're right there at the top. I'll go on a bit. Okay. So you have Venom, Carnage, Anti-Venom, Toxin. So that's pretty cool. And then it says, Power Up, Change Up. Exposed to crime boss Mr. Negative's inverting touch, Eddie Brock's skin transforms part of the Venom symbiote into Anti-Venom, capable of curing Spider-Man of his powers and much, much more. So that's pretty cool. And I think that covers everything. So I'll just show this page again. So you have Venom right here with the facts. And then you move over and you got other Venom symbiotes and such. So that's pretty cool. Venom's always been one of my favorites. And I remember I think I watched a YouTube video or read an article, and it said that Eddie Brock was supposed to be in Spider-Man 2, and they had filmed the scene, but because they wanted to keep the movie a bit shorter. It was like a half hour, or it was one scene, so it wasn't that long, but it's in the deleted scenes. And it was a different actor, too. It wasn't the one who played in Spider-Man 3. So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next up you have Dr. Octopus. He is a founding member of the Sinister Six, I believe.
Yep.
And you have his arms. And he was the main antagonist in Spider-Man 2. And my best friend's let me see. My best friend's name is Max. One of his mom's best friends is currently dating the guy who played Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 2. If that makes sense.
Yep.
So,
Go get an autograph.
I know, right? That's what I told him. I was like, that's pretty
That's
cool.
solid. Yeah.
So there's a fun fact. So moving on, it says, when Dr. Octopus's eyesight fails, he wires his prosthetic vision goggles directly into his brain. However, the loose-fitting goggles fall out of his head and he cannot see. So that's kind of weird.
I did not know that.
Put him into his brain.
Mm-hmm.
The mechanical menace Dr. Octopus has doctorates in nuclear physics and biochemistry. He invents his harness with mechanical arms to conduct dangerous experiments from a safe distance. But a lab accident bombards him with radiation and the harness fuses to his body. So that sounds a lot like Spider-Man 2. So
Yeah.
obviously they kept it pretty similar. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It's cool when a movie actually keeps it pretty close to the comic book. You know, I mean, it's just, I know it's hard for a movie because some comic books, they read a whole lot different than like they'd look if it was being acted, but that's pretty cool that they followed that pretty closely.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's what I thought too. Because isn't Spider-Man 2 won the best some kind of visual effect or CGI and
probably
Academy Award or something, right?
With
It was for sure worth the investment. And it was a pretty good movie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I actually like Spider-Man 2. Actually, I liked all of them. I'm not going to lie. There's this, I think there's cornball parts in every movie that you're just like, oh, you know.
I know.
Especially as a comic book collector and you know the origin and stuff pretty well, you're just like, but then you realize, well, that's why it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know.
That's when it comes out. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It says, arms up in crisis. Otto Octavius was the genius son of a brutal construction worker. He becomes a top scientist, but his power-mad ambitions lead him to become the villainous Dr. Octopus and a bitter foe of Spider-Man. Handle with care. Otto's 4 mechanical titanium tentacles can each perform a different task simultaneously. So that's cool. He could do like multiple things at once instead of having them all work on one project. What was I going to say? Dr. Octopus, he's also in the new Spider-Man game for the PlayStation.
Oh, cool.
And I haven't played the game, but I've seen, it sounds like in that game, like Peter Parker's been Spider-Man for a while. I think he's in college or like right out of college. And then Dr. Octopus goes and he then creates the Sinister Six. And like it tells the story of the Sinister Six. And so Spider-Man dealing with that. So that's pretty cool. Tell me more. Doc Ock doesn't always battle Spidey alone. He forms the Sinister Six. Himself plus Vulture, Electro, Kraven, Lizard, and Mysterio are the original 6 that tried to destroy the Web Slinger. And so Vulture has been in the MCU, and Mysterio has been in the MCU. So that's 2. And then I think Kraven the Hunter is supposed to be in the new one
What
or
they're talking about? It's
coming
rumored.
out. And then they said that they brought back Jamie Foxx's Electro.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd heard that too. Yeah.
So that makes 4 out of the 6. So then you're just missing Lizard and Doc Ock. But I wonder if they'll change that, because I know in Homecoming there was a scene. No, in Far From Home, there's the bus driver scene, and his name was Dimitri, the bus driver.
Yep.
And Dimitri is Chameleon. So they could be the same if they wanted to. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I wonder if they're going to put the Sinister Six in number 3, or if they're going to wait till Spider-Man goes back to Sony. Because I think Tom Holland has like 1 more main film and then 2 more Avengers films, and then he goes back to Sony. I don't know. So that'll be interesting to see what they do with the Sinister Six, though. What else? His real name is Dr. Otto Octavius. His aliases is Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock, or the Master Planner. His allies are the Sinister Six, Masters of Evil, and Charlotte Whittier. His enemies are Spider-Man. Strengths are he is an intellect gifted in science and engineering, and he has 4 mechanical tentacles. His weakness is poor eyesight and failing health. And failing health, that was seen in the Superior Spider-Man run, where Doc Ock, I think he kills Peter, and then he transfers minds with Spider-Man and becomes the Superior Spider-Man. And then he does a lot of good as Spider-Man because he creates Parker Industries, and he gets him a new girlfriend and a new place to live, and he doesn't have to rely on the Daily Bugle as much. But then during the Superior Spider-Man run, you also had the Superior Spider-Man team up, and I think that was like the Sinister Six. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read those. I only have a couple of those comics.
I can't remember them all.
Yeah. Okay, so next we have mad scientist Doc Ock has a suitably loopy fashion sense that changes with the times without ever achieving cool. Otto begins his villainous career in a green jumpsuit and unflattering bowl cut, and that's what they used in the Spider-Man animated series because he looked kind of bad. But then he attempts classy with a white suit and sunglasses, but he still has that bad haircut. And then finally it says, as of more recently, Otto has sported a flowing trench coat and a weird slick back hair and has lost a few pounds.
Oh.
Well, he's working on his image then.
Yeah, good progress.
So you could see you have like original green, then you have white suit, then you have what he's supposed to look like. Here's one. Can you believe it or not? Doc Ock rents a room from Peter Parker's Aunt May when he learns she's set to inherit a nuclear reactor. Otto tries to marry her. So
I thought he did marry her.
maybe he did.
I swear there's a run where he did marry Aunt May.
No way.
I'm positive there. Man, maybe either that or I'm having some really lucid dreams. One of the two.
No, maybe he does. This one, it just says he tries to. So maybe like they were going to get married and Spider-Man stopped it, or maybe they were married and didn't know what to do.
Got confused.
Yeah. Here, last one. Good day. Sometimes Doc Ock really scores. During their first encounter at Bliss Private Hospital, Doc Ock beats Spider-Man so badly that Spidey wants to retire. When the Fantastic Four decline to fight him, Doc Ock appears to have won the day. Kind of weird. So, quick number crunch. 360 degrees. The spinning rotation of each tentacle pinchers. 245 pounds or 111 kilograms. Otto's weight. So he's a big guy, 240 pounds. But as we have seen before, he does lose the weight and he grows out his hair, so that's good. No longer has that bowl cut of his. 50
Shaving
miles
the
per hour or 80 kilometers per hour. That is the top speed when walking on tentacles. So he could get up there with with some cars. You know?
There we go.
5 inches or 13 centimeters, the diameter of Otto's tentacles. So that's not too big, but that's something. I mean, I've got a big hand, so that's probably just like the outskirts of my hand.
Yeah, being titanium, they're stronger than heck. So
Yeah, for sure. 6 to 25 feet or 1.8 to 7.6 meters is the distance of Otto's arms when extended.
Ooh,
So
that's
I'm
wild.
6'6", so he can extend at least as far as me. Kind of weird. I mean, thinking about like, hey, I'm a defeat Spider-Man, and all of a sudden, like, one of his tentacles is as long as you, and then you get smacked with like the same length as you. That's weird. 61 miles per hour or 98 kilometers per hour is the speed Otto's tentacles can strike. So not only are they big, but they are fast. So you better watch out.
Yeah.
you better have Spidey sense.
That's right. In the,
Peter Tinkle.
Yeah, the Peter Tingle.
Yeah.
900 is the distance in miles, or which would equal 1,448 kilometers that Doc Ock can telepathically control his tentacles. And I think there was a run in the comics where Doc Ock lost his arms, but he was able to communicate with them, and they found their way back to him and got him back. Maybe that was also part of the animated series. Not sure.
Yeah, I did not know he could telepathically. I thought they had to be attached to his body or something. So that's interesting. That's
And the last thing is a quote from him. It says, "With such power and my brilliant mind, I'm the supreme being on earth. But you can't defeat a 17-year-old guy wearing blue and red spandex. So how supreme are you?" Okay,
geez, making a little fun of poor Octavius there. I mean,
just a wee bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all for Dr. Octopus. Now is Dormammu. And Dormammu made his MCU debut in Doctor Strange. The first one, he wasn't the main villain, but he came in at the end when I think what happened was the villain was able to contact Dormammu and bring him to Earth, and then Dormammu was supposed to wipe out Earth. But Doctor Strange was able to figure out a bargain with them, as we all know. He came to bargain.
yeah, only after he got killed like 1 billion times.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're talking about Dormammu, but what type of nut job do you have to be like, I got an idea. I'll just keep warping time back around to where he kills me.
I know. Or like, I feel like he could have.
So true.
Doctor Strange could have gone back even further in time to stop Dormammu from ever like reaching Earth.
That was my thought.
And then
That could be a plot hole, yeah.
yeah, like figure out a spell where Dormammu just never makes it to Earth, so that way you don't have to keep killing yourself.
Because I mean that looked pretty painful. The different ways Dormammu killed him.
Oh,
I
yeah.
He like
And
threw
like
rocks
later on,
at
he
him.
got tired. I'm like, bro, just chill out. All right, you won, man. Just go home.
So I wonder if like if he probably felt the pain just over and over again, unless like that's another loophole in the movie. Or
yeah, maybe he can magically control. I never thought of that. Maybe he can magically control some of the pain, to where it's not like just totally,
awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so it says Dormammu. Really? When the renegade heroes of Next Wave visit the town of Shot Creek, they discover that it's being attacked by Rorkanu and his army of mindless ones. Rorkanu could be Dormammu's long-lost twin brother.
Interesting.
Okay. Family connections. You have Clea to Doctor Strange. Oh, no. You have Dormammu to Umar, Umar to Clea, and Clea to Doctor Strange. So it says Dormammu's sister Umar is sometimes his ally and sometimes his rival. Umar then had a daughter named Clea. Unlike her mother and uncle, Clea rejects evil, falls for a hunky Doctor Strange when he visits Dormammu's dark dimension. So that wasn't in the movie,
No.
but that's interesting
So-
to think about.
Doctor Strange is like Dormammu's cousin brother or something? Or...
I think his grandson,
Okay.
Dormammu. Oh wait, no. Dormammu's sister Umar had a daughter. Daughter married Doctor Strange.
So son.
So yeah,
So son-in-law,
Or-
grandson-in-law.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's confusing.
Yeah.
interesting.
Very interesting.
Then you have Umar loves Hulk. Umar likes her men tall, green, and very angry. When Hulk is close to destroying Earth, she takes him to the dark dimension as her new husband. She gets a handsome new king, and the Hulk has some fun smashing mindless ones that don't know what's going on. Okay.
Sounds about right. Sounds
I
about
maybe
right.
don't
that's
remember ever seeing that storyline, but I haven't read every comic book out there, so that's cool.
Is this how Planet Hulk starts? I mean, he gets transported to a planet.
Could be.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. Good point. Yeah.
I mean,
That's a pretty deep stuff. I like to see that.
that's
We're deep
interesting.
diving here.
Yeah, let's
Uh-huh.
get that into the MCU.
Yeah, I like to
That
see
would
that.
be
Like
interesting. Yeah.
Hulk between Doctor Strange. I think that would be an interesting. I don't know, Phase 4 continuation.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Back from the dead. Dormammu and his sister Umar have a love-hate relationship. Dormammu kills Umar, but she is brought back by the power of a wishing well. So now there's wishing wells in Marvel. So now we're talking like Snow White type stuff here. You're gonna,
Well, Disney gets everything wrong.
I know, right? You're gonna get all the Disney princesses together, and they're gonna become the new Avengers.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I know you have like Snow White can sing to animals, and then you have Cinderella like make things into glass, and oh yeah, it'll be so much fun. We can have them
Whoa.
crossover. with, like,
Sleeping Beauty can fall asleep.
there you
Yeah.
go. Rapunzel can like
Throw her
attack
hair
people
down.
with her hair.
Isn't that what Medusa does? Oh my gosh, we are dropping so far off.
We're having another lizard
Medusa.
in Uranus
Oh,
moment
exactly.
tonight, folks.
You gotta
Fast
get into
facts
the
about
Roman
Dormammu.
meat.
His real name? Dormammu. Elias's the Dread One, Lord of the Dark Dimension. His species? Fault line magical entities from another reality. So he's like from a magic dimension. His strengths? Total mastery of magic, can draw the power of his worshippers and the magical energies of the dark dimension itself. His weakness? Rolling to one dimension just isn't enough. His foes? Doctor Strange, the Ancient One, Clea, the Celestials, and Eternity. So if Celestials are one, I think Celestials are going to be in the Eternals movie, which means that Dormammu could possibly be in the Eternals movie.
Possibly. Yeah, he could possibly be back.
I mean,
Because he wasn't like killed. He's just defeated, had to make a deal with Doctor Strange. And so,
Yeah.
who knows?
I think that would have been a
Oh.
funny end credit to do where it's just you just see Dormammu going through the time lapse. because I don't think because there was a end credit and that was setting up for the sequel, whereas Buddy turns evil and that. But I feel like as a second one, it would have been funny to see them just going in eternity over
kind of
and
almost
over.
do like a Deadpool end thing there, more or less, where it's just a continuous loop or something.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Funny enough, what is it? The new trailer of the Eternals came out 80 hours ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, it did?
I didn't
know
caught that yet.
So maybe
Did you watch
can
it?
check it out. I have not.
Oh,
I just saw the news. I was like, alrighty.
Interesting. The top 5 Dormammu defeats. Dormammu challenges Doctor Strange to a fight in front of the other lords of the Netherworld, but is outwitted by the Sorcerer Supreme himself, Dr. Stephen Strange. Number 2, it says Dormammu again. He attacks the mighty cosmic being Eternity, and after a battle that nearly destroys the universe, is crushed between 2 planets.
I hate it when that happens.
Right,
Oh,
like
for
all you
sure.
want to do is take over the universe, and then you get smashed between planets.
I mean, yeah, give the guy a break. I mean, come on.
Number 3, it's not Dormammu, it's Doctor Strange. He tricks Dormammu into going through a portal to Earth, thus breaking his mystic oath to leave the Earth alone. Violating this oath drains his power. But that's interesting. So that's not like the movie. The movie did something different.
Yeah.
And in the movie, Dormammu reminded me of the Fantastic Four reboot version of Galactus, where it was just a giant cloud. Because I never watched that reboot because I thought it looked dumb anyways. But from the trailer, you saw a giant cloud that was supposed to be Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
That movie, it just looked horrible. I didn't even waste my time watching it.
Yeah, and Galactus is so well defined as a character, you know, the way he looks and everything. Yeah, just throw it as a cloud. It's like,
yeah.
Yep.
Well,
good job.
An interesting thing about Galactus was when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created the Fantastic Four and they made Galactus. I read an article and it said they based Galactus off of God, and then they based the Silver Surfer off of is it Hermes, the one from ancient Greek that travels from really fast?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's how they created those 2 characters, was God and then Hermes. And I thought that was pretty cool because, like, that makes sense if you think about it, because Galactus, here he is. He's like this almighty, powerful being, which is supposedly God. And then you have Hermes, who travels from world to world, and that's what Silver Surfer does. So that was pretty cool to see and to learn. Okay, top 5 Dormammu defeats. We are on number 4. Can you guys guess who's number 4?
Doctor Strange.
Nope, that was number 3.
Fantastic Four.
No, it's Dormammu again. So
He beat himself.
out of all 5 Dormammu defeats, Dormammu defeated himself 3 times.
That poor guy. I mean, he can't get a win. I mean, I don't want to be rude, but is this guy like just stupid?
Yeah, right. He
You
sounds
know?
like an idiot.
Yeah. Hang on, I got an idea. Oops, I screwed up again.
Number 4, Dormammu traps the Earth spirit Gaia and tries to conquer Earth, but Umar helps Doctor Strange banish him from our world. And then number 5, it's Doctor Strange and Clea. So out of all 5 Dormammu defeats, you have Dormammu as number 1, Dormammu as number 2, Doctor Strange is number 3, Dormammu is number 4, and Doctor Strange is number 5.
Well, at least he's consistent who he gets beaten by, himself and Doctor Strange. I mean, you
He's
got to give
persistent,
something for that. Consistency does something there.
right? It's not as confusing. Maybe less is better, so that way You don't have to keep count of everybody that defeats you. You just know it's yourself and Doctor Strange.
I mean, talk about the writers back then. Let's see. We haven't used Dormammu for 3. I got an idea. He'll beat himself again, but this time let's write this. But
He'll do something different.
yeah, I could understand him being beaten by Doctor Strange because that's kind of like Doctor Strange's, villain.
That's like his Green Goblin.
Exactly,
Yeah.
But for Dormammu to keep beating himself, it's like, okay, poor guy.
Yeah, Larissa. She loves Dr. Octopus.
Hey, right there's Doc Ock.
There you go. You have Dr. Ock. Is Dormammu on there?
No.
No. Didn't think so. I mean,
But there's not a clear image of Dormammu, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, and what's so funny is like what they show in my book. It's like a guy, and and they say he's 6'1". I'm like, so what was this big cloud in Doctor Strange the movie? Is that like a spaceship or something coming in,
At least he's in the movie. You are right. At least
exactly.
That's more than the Green Goblin can say for the MCU.
Hey, Larissa, I'll tell you, they're a lot of fun.
true.
Marvel encyclopedias. I got, I guess, a newer one or a different version of it, and it's a lot of fun. You can look up characters and learn stuff about them that you never really wanted to know, but it's still fun to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, here's an interesting fact. So between the panels, Marvel's Stan the Manly made up the name Dormammu as something cool for Doctor Strange to say when spell casting. But fans wanted to know more, and the Dread One debuted in Strange Tales number 126 of November of 1964.
So basically, the fans are going, "Who's this Dormammu?"
Right? What's that mean?
So that kind of explains how he's kind of morphed a little bit from how his character, because he wasn't supposed to be really a defined character when it started. So that makes some sense.
Yes. Couple more is tell me more. Plakta, a demonic dark dimension entity, creates the mindless ones from the souls of people trapped in an apartment block in Birmingham, United Kingdom. So that's interesting.
That is interesting.
So,
dark dimension.
Are they trying to say that people from the United Kingdom are just mindless, or?
Here's another conspiracy theory. There we go. I mean, that just sounds like a straight shot to the gut to the UK.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah.
Like, F you, UK, and we got Doctor Strange over here to save us. You mindless zombies.
I
mean, that would explain why everybody, or why why the queen's so old. She just lives forever. She's from the dark dimension. Boom! I just said
on this road again.
There you go.
You see my eyes blink the wrong way like this. Don't worry about it.
Right? Dreadlord, the flame-headed mystical ruler of the hellish dark dimension, is pure evil. Dormammu is obsessed with conquering Earth and destroying its sorcerer supreme, Doctor Strange. Yet, is always... Oh, wait, I got a text message. Oh, that's my mom. And destroying the sorcerer supreme, Doctor Strange. What happened? I lost... Escape. Oh, there we go. Sorry, my computer's like being weird. Let me text my mom. Live class at
streaming. I mean, school.
Yeah, right.
School.
That's it. Yes.
Yes.
Learning life right now.
Mm-hmm. So that's everything on Dormammu. His real name's Dormammu, in case you forgot. His family, yep. That's everything. So let me just show you Dormammu. He kind of looks like Ghost Rider.
That's what I thought.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah. He looks like a Ghost Rider. That's interesting. All right. Yeah, this might be the last one unless we get to this one fast. Okay. Barons of Bad. There's more than one Baron Zemo, and both are bitter foes of the Captain America. Baron Heinrich Zemo is an evil genius and war criminal, and his son, Helmut, is a lawless opportunist on a mission to avenge his father. And Baron Zemo, or maybe it was Henrik. One of them was in Captain America Civil War, I think.
I was gonna say, I thought I remember seeing something like that.
Because, like, after they had fought each other and after Spider-Man made all those goofy references, they, like, Iron Man fought Bucky and Captain America, and then it turned out to be Zemo. But it wasn't him in his purple mask. It was just, like, some terrorist guy they made him out. That was weird. But that's cool. At least he made it to the MCU. Some facts about him are that his full name is Baron Heinrich Zemo. His birthplace is the Castle Zemo, Germany. His strengths, scientific genius, slowed aging, expert marksman, and sword fighter. His weaknesses is he is obsessive for his hate. That doesn't make sense. Obsessive hatred for Captain America, crazy for power. His allies are the Masters of Evil, Baron von Strucker, and the Red Skull. His foes are Captain America, Nick Fury, the Howling Commandos, the Fantastic Four, and Invader. Interesting. Question: what's with the mask? During World War II, Heinrich Zemo is Hitler's greatest scientist. After Heinrich's death ray kills hundreds of Germans, he becomes such a hated figure in his home country that he starts wearing a purple hood to conceal his identity. Oh, we got Kid Collector with some clarification. So he says it was Zemo. So there you go. And he says he gets his purple mask in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm assuming that's rumored because that show hasn't come out, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's confirmed.
Kid's a time traveler.
Right? Another conspiracy theory. He works for the lizard people.
Exactly.
And the Queen of England.
Exactly.
Queen of England.
Why does Zemo age so slowly? It's because of Compound X. And Compound X, I think that's the same thing for Wolverine? Or was that
Weapon X?
Weapon X.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Oh, my bad.
X.
At least it's not Preparation H.
Right.
Oh.
Heinrich invents this serum to preserve his youth and keep him in his prime physical condition. His son, Helmut, bathes in it.
That's a little
Funny
overkill.
enough.
Well, if a little helps the old man, I'm going to dive right in, you know.
Yeah.
Heck no.
Well, that reminds me of the Lazarus Pit from Batman.
Yeah.
And Ra's al Ghul. So, quite interesting. It's all in the family business. After Baron Heinrich comes to a sticky end, Helmut inherits his title. Later on, the new Baron also carries on the legacy of the supervillain team his dad had created. It is called the Masters of Evil. Helmut starts up with two new teams, hoping to finish off the Avengers for his father's demise. So that's interesting. There's a father and a son, so it's a family-ran business. His full name is Baron Helmut Zemo. The birthplace is Leipzig, Germany. This is for the son because I already went over the dad. His strength, slowed aging, expert combatant, more cunning than his dad. Oh, so they're throwing shade at his dad here. Overconfidence is his weakness. He's taking over the world is never easy. True. That's why you got to be like Galactus and just eat it.
Yep.
Don't even take it over. Just eat it.
Yep. Well, you know, Pinky and the Brain prove that taking over the world every night is not easy.
No, I love Pinky and the Brain too.
Me too.
What I liked is on
How did we-
Hulu they just had the series of Pinky and the Brain, so you didn't even have to watch Animaniacs. You could just watch all the
Nice.
episodes. And so I did that.
I gotta catch that. I haven't seen that in a long time.
I love it. And one of my friends in high school, he had a Pinky and the Brain sweatshirt. That was pretty cool. But enough of that. We're talking about supervillains.
Yeah, doggone.
Yeah, stop distracting me, Stan.
Sorry.
His foes: Captain America, Bucky Barnes, Norman Osborn, Doctor Doom, and Avengers. So he doesn't like anybody if he doesn't like any good guys or bad guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Norman Osborn. That kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, what? He doesn't like? Wow.
Wow. So the last thing on here is Heinrich develops an indestructible glue called Adhesive X. It helps immobilize allied troops. When Captain America breaks a vat of Adhesive X with his shield, the glue spills all over Heinrich's head and sticks his hood permanently to his face. That's like the most 80s or like early comic book thing I could like think of. Just, what can happen in this issue? That's so exciting. I got it. Let's make sure this guy's mask gets glued onto his face. Excellent idea. How are you going to do that?
Well, kids, now you know why you shouldn't play with super glue.
Let's have Captain America throw his shield. Dude, you're a genius. Here's $1,000.
All I want to know is, how did it only go on his face? You know, how did it not like go on his shirt and stuff? I'm overthinking.
I know.
Just
Well, maybe if it got onto his shirt, like just the top of the shirt, so maybe he was able to cut the rest of the shirt off. So now he's just got like a mask on his head, and then he's got like some 20-year-old T-shirt around his neck that he has to wear every day. These are the great questions we need to ask ourselves.
His face must really itch from all this hair growing and stuff, man. I'd be going nuts.
Oh yeah, pretty true. Maybe when he goes into this, what was it like the bath, the youth bath? Maybe like the beard just falls off, so that way, because maybe his face heals and it gets all like.
It's a good point. I never thought of that.
Skin. But then that means that you're always having to clean up like shavings in your pool. You gotta get like a filter for it.
So what you're saying is Baron Zemo comes up and goes, the kid was here again. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I mean, at least it's just glued to his face and not his entire body. Can you imagine, like...
That'd be funny.
It would just be awful. I don't even... Like, then I'd understand why you're a supervillain. You're just pissed all the time because you have something glued to your body.
Well, heck, just your face would be enough to possibly turn me... I'd be angry.
And he probably has bad breath because if you look at the mask, there's not a hole for your mouth or nose. So the poor guy can't even brush his teeth.
I must be getting intravenous feeding or something. I don't know.
He has a tube through his eye socket come down and who knows?
Who knows? You never know what's in
there. We're really overthinking this.
Oh gosh. Yeah, but it's good. It's only to his face, so he could do everything else he needs to do. But his poor face. Handle with care. Helmet gets hold of twin gems named Moonstones, which are actually Kree life stones. And the Kree were introduced in Captain Marvel. And those are the good guys. Those are like what Captain Marvel is from. So I wonder if that'll be in Captain Marvel 2. They'll introduce the life stones, or maybe those become the new Infinity Stones. I don't know. They allow him to travel across space and time and between dimensions. So that sounds a lot like these Infinity Stones. When the stones get cracked, however, they hurl Helmet through a time vortex in which he's stuck permanently. So, boom, him and Dormammu are one of the same. They're just going through time loops all day, ladies and gentlemen, with no ever ending. I feel like they'd scream at first, and then, like, 15 minutes in, they're just like, yeah, whatever.
Yep. Marvel's famous favorite plot.
I know. How do we get rid of this guy? I know. Let's just have him go through time, just endlessly. That takes care of him. But one of the days, I feel like the spell would have to end, like maybe when Doctor Strange dies. So then all of a sudden you have like this guy that's been falling for like 80 years, and he hits the ground, and then he stops. He's like, finally, I'm free.
Oh boy, yeah, definitely we're overthinking this one.
Yeah, we went too far, bro.
I mean, I like to overthink stuff because it's just fun. You go down this little rabbit hole and you find your own little plot holes.
Oh, any movie or comic book, you can. There's so many things that are so wrong with them, but you have to do this to make the storyline work, right? You know, and I'm just like,
yeah. And then, like, my favorite is in the MCU when they don't know how to explain anything scientifically. They're just like, boom, Pym particles, and it's like,
Yeah.
I want some of those. They can fix anything. I want those. Like, so easy. And like, what really upset me was for Avengers Endgame, out of all the ways to get Ant-Man free, they could have done 1,000. It's a rat. Oh, it's just a rat. Just one day. And then that's a different plot hole in itself. And it's like, well, how come the rat never pushed the button before? How come it's just now pressing the button 5 years after? No, like, you could have made that so much more badass. But no, you have an effing rat just press the button.
maybe it thought it was getting some cheese. I don't know. Yeah.
Kevin Feige, we're coming for you.
So many plots. Mm-hmm.
So I think that handles the Barons of Bad before we go any further into a rabbit hole.
We did. We went there.
We're at 52 minutes. We'll go for a couple more. We'll make it an hour, and then we'll call it a day. Okay. Next up is the top crime bosses. So let me show you guys this. So on this page, you have the Kingpin, and he was in Spider-Man, the animated series, in Daredevil TV show, and in the PS4 game for Spider-Man. And here are the top crime bosses. So we'll go over these. The underworld will now be run like a business, and the chairman of the board will be the Kingpin. I have to stop right there, and I'm just going to say it. I'm sorry if this upsets anyone. That sounds a lot like Trump. Replace underworld with United States, and replace chairman of the board with president, and replace Kingpin. Well, you could keep Kingpin. And you have the United States will now be run like a business, and the president of the United States will be Donald J. Trump. Boom. Right there. Conspiracy theory. Is Trump Kingpin? Where is Spider-Man?
Could be. Well, technically, if you ever looked at it, and I know I'm going way outside of it, if you look it up, the United States of America is a corporation.
Yes. It's one big corporation. Boom.
I wish I was lying about that, but seriously, look it up.
Yeah. I just discovered something new. FBI, don't at me. Okay. We got tell me more. Kingpin Wilson Fisk may look fat and out of shape, but he is actually 420 pounds, 191 kilograms of solid muscle. Fisk is also a mixed martial arts master and regularly beats up a gang of burly bruisers as part of his fitness program each day. That's with him at your own peril.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. Don't mess with stannables. He'll come after you, Kid
Yeah.
Collector.
You know,
The top 5 Kingpin's flawed henchmen. Number 1, Elektra. And she was in the Daredevil movie
Yep.
with Ben Affleck, also known as Batfleck, also known as one of the better Batman out there. Elektra, her pros, a highly trained ninja assassin. Her cons, has a thing for Kingpin's nemesis, Daredevil. Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, we're
well,
just
they're
gonna
both
start
trained
seeing
by
that.
the same master, Stick. I'm being serious. That Elektra and Daredevil were both trained by Stick, who was a blind guy that. No, never mind. We don't need to go more characters.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I didn't realize that they were trained by the same guy, which makes sense because, like, I never paid attention to Daredevil. Okay, next up, we have Bullseye. His pros, an incredibly accurate assassin. Cons, he's better at killing than following orders.
Oh.
Okay.
Kanzi, where's the bullseye on his head?
So, yeah, right? And then he was also in the Daredevil movie, I think. Number 3, a man named Nuke. That's his name, Nuke. That's what I'm going to name my kid, Nuke. Why? Just because it sounds cool. Pros, a Captain America-style super soldier. Cons, goes out of control and devastates Manhattan. So that sounds a lot like a combination of Captain America and the Incredible Hulk. Put them together and you got Nuke. Number 4 is Typhod Mary. Her pros, a mutant with amazing psychic powers. Her cons, dangerously crazy and seriously unpredictable. Well, that sounds like half of America right there. They're all crazy and unpredictable. I mean, that could be anybody. Number 5, the Sandman. His pros, ability to turn to sand is a powerful weapon. His cons, he keeps getting outsmarted by Spider-Man. That's his con. They couldn't have thought, con? I could have put water. He's sand.
Yeah. Could have made it like anything. Instead, he's just dumb. Spider-Man outwits him every time.
Yeah. Even though he
For
did.
sure, I would have got tired after that.
Yeah.
It's like,
I did like his portrayal in Spider-Man 3. That was pretty cool. Besides the part where they made him his uncle's killer, and that was kind of dumb because they already took care of that like in the first 45 minutes of the first movie.
Yep.
But I guess everything's connected, so be careful because if you're, just be careful on who you think killed your uncle. I covered that. Here's one. No! Peter Parker reveals that he is actually Spider-Man and the Kingpin sends his sniper to shoot him. The bullet hits his Aunt May instead.
Poor Aunt May.
She's always getting in trouble. And she's always getting younger throughout the movies. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, you ain't joking.
Right? Like,
Yep.
I saw this thing and it's like the 4th Spider-Man reboot. It'll have Spider-Man in diapers and Aunt May as a teenager.
oh my.
Yeah. Sometimes I hate taking these diapers off Peter. They stick to him.
Peter Tingle.
Yeah.
Comes everywhere.
Instead of the Peter Tingle, it'll be the Peter Tinkle. Handle with care. The Kingpin's jeweled walking stick contains a nasty surprise. Its inbuilt disintegrate ray can vaporize an opponent. That's so convenient. It's like Harry Potter. Just, I'm going to carry around this stick all day. And if anybody pisses me off, boom, you're disintegrated. Like,
I could use that feature every once in a while.
Pretty merciless, yeah.
I think we all could use a disintegrated ray. So we move on from Kingpin and we go to the top crime bosses, which is on the second page. So let me show you that. So you got the top crime bosses. So let's cover that. You have Kingpin, a hugely powerful, ambitious, and ruthless criminal genius. The Rose. Connection. I'm collecting Web of Spider-Man, and I think a few months ago I picked up a run of Web of Spider-Man, like 2-3 issues, and the Rose was the main character, or the main antagonist. So that's pretty cool. Kingpin's son, Richard Fisk, tries to take over Dad's operation. That's right, because in the run I was collecting, he tries to assassinate his own dad.
Yep.
Yeah. Then you have Hammerhead, violent, retro-styled mobster with a steel-plated head. Now, when you create that character, I'm sorry, I don't think a normal person can create that. I think you have to be like high, or you have to be on something and be like, let's create a gangster, but he has a strong head. Like, just put a bunch of metal in there and boom. Like, just... I don't think any normal person could have thought of that.
Wasn't he the one with like a flat head too? If I'm thinking
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was like almost like Frankensteinish, you know.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's like a gangster juggernaut.
Oh, Juggernaut.
Next up, you have Silvio Silvermane Manfredi, aging Magia boss who turns himself into a cyborg to cheat death.
Cool.
That's super cool. Then you have Count Nefaria, gains the powers of Whirlwind, Living Laser, and Power Man. I have never even heard of those people.
Those are so new.
I thought Living Laser was Cyclops.
Who knows? I don't know.
Duplicated.
Madame Mask, the daughter of Count Nefaria. Her gold mask hides a scarred face. I've never heard of her. Here's one that everybody should know. It's Tombstone. Tombstone, everybody knows. Lonnie Lincoln files his teeth to the points, making him even more scary.
Files his teeth to the point?
Hey, it's like 14-year-old girls on TikTok, because that's what they do now.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Literally
there's like
everyone in TikTok's doing that.
there's like a whole trend on it, and like people they take a finger file, but they'd only take like the two pointy teeth, like the vampire teeth.
Canines, yeah.
Yeah, the canines, and they'd sharpen them. And that was like a trend that a bunch of like girls were
Gee,
doing.
wonder if they're going to regret that later on in life.
Right? Like,
Oh my god. They're not going to take the insurance anymore.
And then people like wonder why I hate TikTok. I'm like, first you have people eating Tide Pods.
Yeah.
Then you have people filing their teeth.
When I first heard that Tide Pod one, I was like, what type of special do you have to be to go, Tide Pod looks good to me? You know?
Right?
I mean,
so dumb. Or like, oh, I'm gonna eat a Tide Pod. Let's see how many likes I could get on my social media without thinking, hey, if I eat this laundry detergent, I might die.
Yep.
Teenagers, be smarter than the average bear.
Well, you know, maybe it's the old adage of what is that? I'm having total brain fart now where I was thinking about it, about how like the strong will survive and the weaker and dumb will just kind of go away.
Oh, yeah. Survival of the fittest.
There, thank you. I hate it when I do that and I can't think what I'm trying to say, but yeah, you know, it's like.
So I think after we're done, I'm going to retitle this video and I'm going to call it Marvel Encyclopedia. Let's eat some Tide Pods.
People are going to be going through this. Where they eat the Tide Pods?
I actually related with the MCU before. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, there we go. We'll put it in the description. Have Marvel characters ever eaten Tide Pods?
Oh my gosh.
Is Tide Pod actually deprived by Marvel Comics?
Oh, there we go. Does Marvel Comics support teenagers eating Tide Pods?
There you go.
Oh boy.
Man. Well, Stan's having a hard time dealing with us, bro.
Yeah. Next up, we're going to the Hood. We have the Hood. Parker Robbins gained superpowers from the demon Dormammu. Okay, that's gotta suck because we just learned about Dormammu, and Dormammu can't do anything,
Yep. Other than beat himself.
right? So this poor guy, the Hood, has powers from Dormammu. That's so useless.
Just keeps beating himself.
All right. And then last but not least, you have Mr. Negative. He controls the dark force to shapeshift and also brainwash people. And Mr. Negative, he's a newer Spider-Man villain. He came, I think, in the late 700s. I know he's on the cover of 750, I think. Or maybe he's 7, I don't know. But he is a Spider-Man villain, and he was in the new Spider-Man PS4 game. He was like the main bad guy.
Here I thought Mr. Negative was like Eeyore.
That
Oh,
was-
no.
So you have the Hood, and then you have Mr. Negative. Let's listen to some tunes. Here's a headbanger. The gangster Hammerhead takes out enemies with his reinforced steel skull. That's great. Hey kids, I know what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna ram my head into this wall.
What I love about that is, if you look at the big realistic picture of that, did he reinforce his neck? Did he do,
Oh yeah.
But again, it's comics. We don't overthink it. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, keep it phonetic, not realistic.
Okay. Question. Who are the Magiae? The Magiae originated in Southern Europe and is now a major power in the U.S. underworld. Members promise to keep silent about group activities on pain of death. There are 3 rival Magia families, each led by a notorious mobster. You have the Silvermane family, the Nefaria family, and the Hammerhead family.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like the Illuminati, which is kind of like the lizard people, which run our government, which are created by the politicians. And you also have, I wonder if they have special pigeon cameras like we do here.
Very possibly. Very possibly.
Yeah. We're headed down dark path, but it's okay.
At the Hood.
Just don't eat Tide Pods and you'll be safe, kids.
Yes.
All right. Out of all this, who's the boss?
Me.
These crime lords are cunning, ruthless, and command gangs of henchmen, making them dangerous foes. Some even find ways to boost their power, becoming supervillains able to battle the champions of justice, Juan on Juan. Oh. I don't know who the champions of justice are, but I don't think I'd want to fight them.
Especially the Mr. Negative guy. Man. Just being around him, it makes me Eeyore. Oh.
That's what I thought his power was. Like, he'd get around you and just be like...
Exactly, yeah. It sounds like you're delusioning.
I was going to enjoy this bowl of ice cream, but instead I'm just going to watch it melt. I don't know. That's what I thought his power was. Honestly, that's what I kind of thought, like it was some power, like, Spider-Man comes by him and all of a sudden Spider-Man's like, woohoo, I got this. Then all of a sudden he's like, I'm a loser.
Adolescent.
That would be bad.
That sounds about right.
Shoot. I forgot what I was going to say.
Talking about
I don't know. But what's on my mind right now, I don't know. Okay, so this came up on my mind because stannnibals said bowl of ice cream. And I saw an article, because I do weird research, that in Japan, they have a weird type of ice cream to where if you scoop it and you don't eat it, then the ice cream will melt and it'll leave a sad face.
It's kind of cool, I guess.
Wait.
Like if you scoop ice cream, or this type of Japanese ice cream, and you put it in a bowl, and let's say you put it down on the counter and you go do something else. You go bring in the groceries, you go use the bathroom, whatever. And you come back, and when it melts, how like normal ice cream, it'll melt flat and it'll be nasty. This one instead melts into a sad or an angry face because you haven't eaten it.
I wonder what type of unique chemicals are in that.
Right?
No, I think, you know what? When you're gone, I think the Japanese people just come over and just draw like a latte art style and just left it. Just escape just right there. Conspiracy theory right there.
Right, there's
Another
a theory.
theory. Another theory.
Let's I'd like to thank Pocan Joe Comic Review for joining us. I've never heard of him, so he is new to me. Let me see if I could pull this up. He says, "Hey folks, what's shaking?" Well, what's shaking is we're trying to talk about supervillains, but we're talking about Japanese ice cream melting. So if you have experience with that, please let us know, Pocan Joe. And don't forget to subscribe too.
I wonder if that ice cream's some type of superhero.
Oh,
Because it has that superpower of morphing into a sad face or an angry face.
there you go. You know what? Let me see if I can find a picture of it because it's actually pretty funny if you see it. So, Google, because everything can be found on the Google nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Japanese.
Even things you don't want to find.
Oh yeah, sad face ice cream. Oh yeah, here it is. This might freak you out. Okay, so wait. Let
Dude,
me see
that's
if
like creepy.
Look at that. It starts out as a smiley, but then it goes into like some demonic.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that is like freaky. If that's not actually carved or somebody doing
Like,
it, that is like freaky.
Oh god. I think I would ever get traumatized to see that ice cream.
Wait, here's another one that's like even worse.
Yeah, that's just creepy. You sure they're not like carving it themselves or
See,
that's
I
just
don't
creepy.
know. All right, Ian says he has to go, so we'll say bye to Ian.
All right.
And
Take
we'll
care,
wrap
Mike.
things up.
Sounds good.
No, thank you, Colin, for putting that in our chat. You can find us at boxesofcomics.com because we created a website because we're just so popular. We created an Instagram page. We also have a Twitter and our business email. So there's that. Pocan Joe.
Yeah, you ain't joking.
That bowl of ice cream is a no for me.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, nope, gotta go. Bye. See you later.
Right. I'm gonna just stick with vanilla, please.
Whatever happened to Neapolitan? Can I just get a simple strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate and be good? Just walk away, I'm good.
All right. So next week, if I don't have to work Tuesday night, we will be doing Magical Menaces. So it looks like you have Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom, Morgan Le Fay,
Oh man, I'm gonna miss Dr. Doom.
Calypso, and Craven. That will be either next Tuesday or whenever we are live once again. Just depends on work. So maybe I'll get done with work and have time to go live if it's not too late.
And get a bowl of sad ice cream.
That turns evil. That's just like creepy. All right. That's it for tonight. But we found something to do for a bunch of videos, so we're gonna try something out. We're gonna create a playlist, and we're going to put a bunch of videos in there and talk about Star Wars reviews. So,
And then at the end, there's going to be something secret.
and then at the end, Colin wants us to create our own story that travels through all 9 videos. But yeah, I figured that we're big enough now we could start focusing on other stuff besides comics. Obviously, we don't want to go too far crazy, but I feel like Star Wars and comic people can go
They
together.
wrap together.
So
Absolutely.
what I'm gonna do is, darn it, I have to watch all 9 Star Wars movies. Are you kidding me? Like, really?
Just binge them.
Just, oh my gosh. And it's not like I hate Star Wars at all. Like, I just dread Star Wars, all of them. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through and probably put down 10 things I liked from each movie and 10 things I disliked. But I'm pretty sure once I get to Disney Star Wars, and especially Episode 8, The Last Jedi, I might have 5 things I like from that movie at most, and probably 50 things I disliked from that movie.
Just remember, in episode 1, Jar Jar says, "Misa anda likes Alyssa."
Yeah, but I like Jar Jar.
I did too, actually. He's such a goofball. He's like pure comic relief.
He's great. I love him. But I'm glad, like, in episodes 2 and 3, they gave him a smaller role. But I like him. I just don't understand, like, the backlash that Jake Lloyd and Jar Jar got, because they're new, and it's okay to do new things. Like the episodes 4, 5, and 6. That's a different trilogy. That's a different time period of space. This is what happens before then, and if there's crazy government going on and there's crazy creatures that talk like they're in kindergarten, then so be it. That's what George Lucas wants. That's what George Lucas is going to get. So, and if he wants a 10-year-old to fall in love with a 15-year-old girl, that's okay, because that's what George Lucas wants. But I'm glad that he cleared up that age gap in episode 2 and 3. But yeah, so that's gonna be our next 9 videos. So hopefully we start getting up and getting a bunch of content going for you guys. And yeah, join us next week, next time we're live. Stannables, do you have anything to say about your channel coming up, or anything you'd like to say?
No, just if you guys are wanting to hang out again tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern time, I'm doing my Tuesday late night video, and it's going to be about on helping me figure out how to be better able to flip comic books and sports cards and stuff. So, if you got some experience with that, or, I'm going to drop a link if you want to come in live, or if you just want to stay in the chat, I'd appreciate it, because anybody that watches my channel knows I struggle with selling stuff. So yeah, I got to start selling some stuff to keep the hobby moving forward and then my collection growing. So other than that, thanks for letting me come on.
Yeah, and don't forget to set a timer so that way you don't go crazy 4-hour long.
Tonight, tomorrow's my first day back to work in like almost 5 months from work. So I got to set a timer. Otherwise, I'll be at work tomorrow, my first day, drooling on myself. So no, it's 1 hour tonight. 1 hour. That's
good. That's good. So thank you guys for joining us. Come back next week. We're learning about it was like mystical villains, so that should be cool. Star Wars videos coming out. Thank you guys for the love and support, as I'm now over 100 subscribers. I'm almost to 120, so go ahead and give me a thumbs up and a like button, and then sub up Stannables Prime, because I know you're doing good. You're almost 400 now, I think, right?
Yeah, I finally broke 370. I got to 370, like, no joke, like 8 times. I've been stuck there for like 3 weeks. I wish I was lying. Then I'd lose subs. And the day I finally went over, I hit 371. And then tonight when I came down for this, I was at 373. And I'm like, it makes no sense to me, but okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's all I have. That's all Stannables has. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back hopefully next week. And video should be in a couple Saturdays, because holiday weekend, I got to write the script. So We'll get it up ASAP. But thank you guys for joining. Goodbye.
Take care, everyone.